ultimately, I would like to have my own organization that works with teen parents, both the mothers and the fathers and their families. I'm really excited about the experiences that I've gained through work, but my question would be, what advice do you have on the time that I have here as a student and my colleagues here have as a student? You know, things to get involved with, experiences that you had that just made a huge difference in your career path. Do you have those instances that you could share that happened here at school? Or advice that you would have for me as a student?
Well, for me, it was working. And it was enlarging my experiences through working. That also included some team teaching. It also included some scholarship so that publishing could occur. So being able to be integrative in my approach with all the various areas. I couldn't have done the scholarship, the article I ended up doing without working to have the understanding of the residence halls. So one fed into the other.
So it's like research.
So that was very important.
My greatest mentors have been my clients. If you want to work with teen parents, get out there and meet some teen parents, start working with them, and they will charge you. They will charge you in terms of energy, and they will charge you in the sense that they will set you the mission that has to be done. And those will be people that I remember clients that I worked with. We first opened an early intervention program, which is kids birth to 3, and one of the first moms I went out to see was a 17-year-old mom, and she had a baby that had open heart surgery. And the physical therapist couldn't make it, so she said, well, you go out and here, use this tube of ointment on the scar. Right. This heart it was hard. And mom was afraid to touch the baby. And it was my job to show her how to do that. And I was in it, and I realized that she was afraid to touch her baby. And the real scar I was treating was her, not the baby. That she felt guilty for having had a baby, guilty for having a baby with a heart problem, and guilty that she didn't know how to touch her baby. And just to be there and be with her was my privilege to somehow listen to her and be non-judgmental and validate her. And I'm hooked. I'm definitely not going to work with families and teen parents. So get hold of those experiences, and they will keep you going.
I don't know that I can answer your question specifically, because you have a specific goal that you want to attain, and I'm sure that the idea of that is give as many experiences as you can of that. Two things I would say with that is that the concept of developing your career portfolio means you get as many experiences as you can in life, and you put them all in there, and then you pull out what you need in case things don't always work out the way you want. There are some psychologists who went to school to this program here and live in Tallahassee and have practices in Thomasville. And that 2 of them opened their practice in Thomasville because Medicaid in Georgia paid better than Medicaid in Florida. So they built their practice on Medicaid, and they were seeing children. That's all they saw. Until they privatized Medicaid in Georgia. And then all of a sudden their business, I mean, everything was pulled out from under them, and they had to start all over and say, what are we going to do now? And now we have biofeedback and all these other things going on that weren't going on before, because they had to change where they thought they were going with it. And so that I think in terms of every experience that I have somehow goes in that portfolio. That there are things that I did. I worked for the Multidisciplinary Center and for what's now ALEC while I was here. And I did that not because I had a great love for doing evaluations, but because it would pay my out-of-state tuition if I did it, and that's the only reason I did it, and I endured it, and it was the greatest experience of my life. I left here knowing more about evaluation than many psychologists who had been in the field for a long time. Those experiences all fit together to develop something that I had never anticipated. So that I think as you're pursuing the experiences that lead directly into what you want to do, keep a place in your mind open to the idea that there are other experiences that if you add those in there, they may come back. Career development, that may come back as an important part of working with parents in some way that you were not anticipating.